Hey guys, Horror Lorekeeper here. Today I'm doing the thing I swore I wouldn't do. I'm claiming I finally solved FNAF's biggest plot hole, the one that lives in the vents, grins in your office, and somehow ruins your night without ever raising a hand. We're talking Balloon Boy, why he looks like a harmless kid, why he never attack kills you, why he ruins your flashlight in FNAF 2 and your ventilation in FNAF 3, why he laughs instead of screaming, and what on earth his place is in the story. We'll tour appearance and behavior first, walk the timeline like a narrated playthrough, and then I'll lay out my theory for who Balloon Boy is and how he connects to the core tragedy, plus a lean alternative so you can pick your poison. So sit back, relax, and let's dive back into the world of FNAF. First, context. Balloon Boy lives in the FNAF 2 grand reopening era. No office doors, a Freddy head for disguise, a music box keeping the puppet asleep, and vents that spit problems straight into your lap. BB prowls the left vent and the main hall threshold. If he gets inside, he smiles and your flashlight dies. He returns as Phantom Balloon Boy in FNAF 3, a charred green echo that jumps your view and drops your ventilation to error. Across both games, his calling card isn't teeth. It's denying you air and light. Keep that pairing in your head. It's the key. Before we theorize, let's see him. BB reads like a party favor that learned to walk. Round cheeks, glassy eyes, red and blue propeller cap, striped shirt, and that little sign, balloons. Clean seams, soft colors, cheery and polished. Park him in the office for 5 seconds and the smile becomes expressionless but unsettling. Not because he's menacing, but because he isn't. He's the only major threat that looks like a child instead of a bear or a rabbit. His sister Echo JJ, muted colors under the desk, is a visual glitch that makes you doubt your own eyes. In FNAF 3, Phantom BB keeps the silhouette but arrives mangled and nightmarish. Scorched tint, smoking edges, a jerkin that yanks your camera forward. Same personality, different costume. Function and behavior. When do we encounter him and what flips the switch? In FNAF 2, BB is a sound cue first. Hi. Hello? Giggles from the ductwork. He climbs the left vent, teases the hall, and if he crosses your threshold, he doesn't jump scare. He steals your flashlight. Without it, Withered Foxy becomes inevitable and the hallway turns into a black throat. Balloon Boy doesn't stab you, he makes the systems kill you. In FNAF 3, look at Phantom BB on the wrong cam too long and he slams your screen, collapses your ventilation, and invites hallucinations until the only physical hunter arrives. Again, he never deals the final blow, he opens a back door and lets consequence in. Tie that to the wider lore. FNAF's pillars are kid spaces weaponized, ritual enforcement, systems horror, and old tech reused until it screams. BB fits uncomfortably well. He promises balloons and steals breath. He says hello and turns the lights off. It has been theorized he's a harmless greeter routine whose behavior became lethal when paired with other animatronics. But if we step back and map his choices, vents, light denial, ventilation errors, a pattern emerges that looks less like random nuisance and more like theme. So let's walk the nights like a playthrough so you can feel what BB actually does to you. Night 2, FNAF 2. Fan hum, prize corner wine. You set your loop, wind cam 11, drop, mask, count a beat, flash hallway for Foxy, check the vents, repeat. Then, hi, the left vent shows cheeks and a cap. You pop the mask and he retreats. You think you've solved him, until the next pass, when the music box drops too low and Foxy parks in the hall. You greed the wind. Hello, drop cam, and the room has changed. Your flashlight meter won't tick. BB smiles like a sticker. You can keep the puppet down or keep Foxy down, but not both. That's BB's real attacks. Divide attention, remove a tool, force a wrong choice. Cut to FNAF 3. Your babysitting systems, audio lures, cams, ventilation. Phantom BB sits on a feed like a greasy thumbprint. 1 second too long and he's in your face, your ventilation coughs out, and while you reboot, ghosts flood the halls and the one real monster adjusts his path. The personality is unchanged. BB destroys air and light, the things your brain needs to think straight. He turns competence into panic. Alright, here's the part you clicked for. My inventive solve is what I call the Air Kid theory. Balloon Boy is the spirit of a child who suffocated during a daytime incident tied to a party setup. Balloons, vents, breath, and his behaviors are the grief echo of running out of air. In life, he's a kid obsessed with the party trappings, balloons, signs, candy-striped colors. In death, he becomes the avatar of air in the Fazbear ecosystem. That's why every significant thing he does targets breathing and seeing. Balloons. Breath. The prop isn't just carnival dressing, it's a literal symbol for air management. He brings a balloon, then takes your balloon away, your flashlight, and later, your ventilation. Vents, your last crawl spaces. He travels by vents because that's where he died, or tried to hide. He's not a hallway hunter, he's a ducked ghost. Flashlight denial. Foxy kills. He hates your light because adults with flashlights and checklists failed him. You think light equals safety. He believes light isn't what saves you, air does. FNAF 3 ventilation errors. Phantom BB's one trick is yanking your air. He doesn't harm your audio or cams first. He goes straight for oxygen because that's what was missing when he needed help. Hi, hello. Not an attack scream, a contact call. Kids call out when they're lost. All he learned was that calling for help gets ignored while the routine continues. His hello precedes your night collapsing because being ignored killed him. How does he connect to the core story? Through Charlotte Puppet and Henry on one side and Foxy Mangle on the other. It seems likely that the puppet collected this child like the others. Give gifts, give life is literally Charlotte organizing grief. But because his trauma was air, his attachment found the nearest kid-coded chassis built for crowd hospitality. BB units were greeters and rewrote the job, monitor air by punishing negligence. That's why his most aggressive form is in FNAF 3. The venue obsessed with ventilation panels. He's the kid whose last memory was gasping, hijacking any night where adults forget to breathe and listen. On the other side, notice his symbiosis with Foxy. In FNAF 2, BB almost never kills you directly, Foxy does. Who wore the Foxy mask during the Crying Child era? The bullies. BB's prankster profile, giggles, and tool steal read like a kid prank that escalates into real harm because the room is built wrong. Whether or not he's literally one of those boys, the pattern rhymes. A child's mischief becomes an adult's catastrophe in seconds. BB is the echo of, it's just a joke in a place where jokes kill. Let me connect the dots cleanly with 5 load-bearing facts BB solves. Why no direct kill? Because his trauma isn't predation. He didn't die to teeth, he died to air. His haunting removes the conditions that keep you alive and lets the predators do the rest. Why flashlight only? Light is the wrong adult obsession from his view. Adults flash lights, checked forms, and miss the air problem. He punishes the illusion of safety. Why vents? Specifically left vent. That route mirrors a maintenance party path. A crawl where a kid could slip, hide, or asphyxiate. Left vent isn't magic, it's a memory map. Why is Phantom BB the ventilation breaker? Because in a later venue that literally puts oxygen on a status screen, his haunting expresses at full volume, fix the air or die. Why JJ? JJ is the glitch twin, the second echo you aren't supposed to notice. Think of JJ as the passive counterpart. A quiet, low-oxygen haze that sits under your desk while the loud echo, BB, announces himself. 2 expressions of the same breath ghost. Does the theory dovetail with Henry and Charlotte? Yes. The puppet enforces remembrance via the music box, a machine that sounds like a ventilator. BB enforces breath attention by stealing light and sabotaging vents. Both are rituals of care inverted by a building that refuses to care. Charlotte binds souls to masks so they won't be forgotten. The Air Kid strips tools so adults have to notice what actually matters. Now, if you want a spicier alternative that still fits the behaviors, here's the runner-up, the prankster bully possession. In this reading, BB is one of the FNAF 4 bully friends, not Michael, a kid who loved getting a rise out of the crying child. He later dies during the reopening chaos and possesses a greeter unit. His giggles and hello are prank language. His tool steal is the ultimate joke. Make the adult powerless and let Foxy finish the scare. It maps the Foxy synergy perfectly and explains why BB feels mean without ever striking. The connection to story is poetic. dramatic. A prank became a haunting that only does pranks. And in Freddy's, pranks are executions. Versus my main solve, the Air Kid theory answers more of the weird edges. Why the ventilation fixation in FNAF 3 is BB's signature. Why his props are balloons, air, and a sign, greeter. And why his voice is friendly right before you suffocate the run. Separate supported from inferred, so we keep this honest. Supported by gameplay, BB approaches via the elephant. T-Vent Hall, disables the flashlight if he enters, and indirectly hands you to Foxy. JJ is a rare underdesk variant. Phantom BB jumps your view and forces ventilation failure in FNAF 3. Strongly suggested by presentation, BB is kid-coded and non-lethal, the perfect corporate deniability mask for a system that still kills you. Inferred, the suffocation backstory and puppet Link. The idea that balloons, vents, air are the core trauma shaping his haunting. The canon stays foggy on purpose, but the behavior chain lines up like gears. Before we close, imagine the night the way BB remembers it. A party room smells like latex and sugar. Balloons bounce on strings. A kid crawls where he shouldn't, or gets left where the air is wrong, calling hello, while adults follow a checklist. A minute later, it's quiet. Years later, you sit in a chair and do the exact same thing. He takes your light, your air, and your certainty and says, "Hi." That's not a greeting, it's a reenactment. Alright, that's how I finally solved FNAF's biggest plot hole, Balloon Boy. The theory that plugs every hole by making him the Air Kid who's haunting his breath, not bite. If you enjoyed this breakdown, remember to leave a like, comment down below with what you want to see next, and of course subscribe to Lorekeeper for more FNAF and horror content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you